Hello, bearded bee people. Sorry about the wind. It's gusting at over like 25 miles an hour today, so there's nothing I can do about that. But I'm moving hives. Well, welcome back to the B&K's Beast channel. I'm moving hives, trying to set up the winter configuration. And I get asked a lot, how do you move a hive? Should you move it a couple feet a day? Should you just move it? I'm a little less worried, I think, than most people about that question. So I'm doing it in the middle of the day and I'm moving them outright. I'm not moving them a couple feet each day. And obviously some of the foragers are going to return to the old hive's location. So I'm not so worried about that. There's hives everywhere in this yard and they'll find another home. I've never had a problem with, fighting or anything like that. So what I do is I just move them. I'm gonna move 2 of these to fill out that spot and that spot, and I'm gonna place something large in front of the entrance. Something so large so that they have to climb around it to get out. That will force them to the realization that something has changed and that their hive location has changed, and then therefore they'll do orientation flights to reorient themselves to the new location. Like I said, the foragers that are out right now aren't going to get the benefit of the obstruction telling them that something has changed, so they're going to return to the old location and be confused for a little bit, but then they'll figure their way into another hive and all will be well. If you wanted to make sure that not a single forager was lost, say you only have 1 or 2 hives in your yard and you're worried that they won't find another location to call home, then you can do this at night. Do it right directly after dusk, after that sun has gone just down below the horizon. All or most of the bees will be returned, especially if it's a cooler night, the way it is now in the middle of October here in Michigan. And then do everything the way I'm doing it right now. You just move it, you put something so large that they cannot ignore it right in front of their entrance. That forces them to reorient to the new location, and it all works out. If you do not like that idea for whatever reason, that other method that I briefly mentioned earlier will work. Move it just a couple feet each day, and they will have a little bit less confusion, and they'll be able to find their new hive as it's moving day to day toward its new location. It takes a lot of time, and I just am not a fan of methods like that. That's a lot of time committed to a fairly simple problem. So here I'm gonna move these, if I can lift them up by myself. We'll find out. Okay, and that's about it. Earlier on in the year, you don't want to leave that like that, because they'll just fly out and ignore it. I'm getting dive bombed now. Okay, now it's a little tougher to ignore. Darn, those hives are heavy. So yeah, that's how I do it. Like I said, if you don't want this confusion that's going on here right now, do it at night. But like I said, those bees will find another home or find their way to their old home. They don't really have an ability to find their hive amongst many through scent the way a lot of people believe, so they're going to be confused for a little while. And what will probably end up happening is they'll kind of attach themselves to the backs of these hives and work their way around toward the entrance and walk in calmly and hope they're accepted, and they probably will be. So yeah, that's how I move hives. If you liked it, click like. If you haven't already, click subscribe. Thanks for watching. Get out there and have some fun with your bees.